The waves crash on these coasts with such a force that hard rock is soon ground into fine sand. Lashing day after day, year after year, forever, these waves have formed this long coastline of beaches, lagoons and estuaries. Since ancient times, the Coromandel Coast has been our link to the world. It has some great stories to tell. Stories of temples, traders, spices, silk, pirates and power. But several millennia before man set out to conquer the seas, the Green Kingdom had spread its roots along the rhythm of the waves. Just like the birds and the bees, the sea also carried seeds. It deposited them across the shores to spread green life. The tropical dry evergreen forest, TDEF, also known as the Eastern Deccan or Neithal Kardagal in Tamil, once spread like a green carpet on this fine sand. What remains of it today can be found at sacred groves. Faith, myth and fear of angering the gods have protected them. Sacred groves all along this coast prove that a forest once lined these shores. A forest that is lost today, maybe because of rapid urban development or a change in landscape. That these sandy shores were home to some majestic trees and abundant foliage never ceases to surprise anyone, even the botanists. It was a pioneering vegetation of sturdy seeds, clumps of shrubs, small flowers, small fruits, hardy bark and stocky wood. Shakti at Auroville is trying to put some of these TDEF species back on the coasts with support from the Auroville Coastal Area Development Center.
The first objective of this project is to create a multi-species mixed plantation in the coastline which is primarily devoid of any trees. And in order to do that, we have a mix of species, TDEF species, which is tropical dry evergreen forest species, non-TDEF but indigenous species and exotics. The idea is that once this plantation is established, more and more TDEF species will be phased in. The second objective of this project is to create a demonstration and awareness generation. The TDEF forest, which existed all along the coast, hasn't existed for a long time also. So the whole culture and the knowledge and the familiarity of living next to the forest is also lost. So what we want to create here is a demonstration that is a mixed planting of species is possible in the coastline.
The forest that's coming up on the beach now is not really, you can't call it a tropical dry evergreen forest, it's mixed. There are some species of the dry evergreen in it, although. For instance, the Bauhinia rufescens, that was planted 1 year just to try out in pure sand without adding any compost or red earth or whatever, only for a few weeks watering, and they survived. We found them back next year. So you can call it a hardy species. Then we introduced some exotics, like for instance Cocoloba, a plant from South America that's doing very well on the beach. And then we had Indian species but not belonging to the EDF. For instance, the Pongamia glabra. It's growing very well on the beach. I've seen it in the Andamans growing with the roots in the seawater.
The growing number of cyclones, storms and disasters in recent times have shown that man-made walls, groins and other barriers are no match for the power of the Great Sea. Sea walls, in fact, only manage to shift the problem of erosion and vulnerability further down the coast. They are also built at the cost of crores of rupees. Bioshields, on the other hand, cost just a fraction of that cost. They are no doubt slower to create, but they are more effective and reduce the impact of disasters. This restoration project is recreating a native ecosystem with TDEF species. The TDEFs will be much more stronger than just casuarinas and coconut palms. The non-TDEFs have been added to help with the restoration. They will be phased out slowly.
After the tsunami, there were talk of creating bioshield along the coast to protect fishermen community from natural calamities like tsunami or cyclone. Many organizations planted monoculture of casuarina or coconut for the purpose, while we decided instead to go for a project which also aimed at reintroducing coastal species belonging to the tropical dry evergreen forest, plus some indigenous species and some exotic species which were known to be well adapted to the coastal area.
The plantations are on 4 sides in the coastal villages of Nuchikuppam, Chettinagar, Anumantai North and Anumantai South.
முதல் வருஷம் எங்களால் முறையாக தண்ணி கொடுக்க முடியல. அதுக்கு மக்களுடைய ஒத்துழைப்பு போதுமான அளவுக்கு இல்லை. ஆனால் இப்போ 2வது வருஷம் இப்போ அதுக்கப்புறம் அடுத்த வருஷங்களில் எங்களால் முறையாக வாரத்துக்கு ஒரு முறை தண்ணி கொடுக்க முடியுது. ஒரு சில தாவரங்கள் ஆத்தி பொங்கம் போன்ற மரங்கள் தண்ணி இல்லாமலே 2005 நட்டதே இன்னும் நல்லா வந்துட்டு இருக்குது. நமக்கு 15,000 கன்றுகள் நமக்கு தேவைப்பட்டது. அதுக்காக மகளிர் சுய உதவி குழுக்களை அணுகி அவங்கள அவங்களுக்கு பயிற்சி கொடுத்து அவங்கள உற்பத்தி செய்ய வச்சோம். இதனால அவங்களுடைய வாழ்வாதாரம் உயர்றதுக்கு நல்ல ஒரு வாய்ப்பாக அமைஞ்சுது. முதல்ல நாங்கள் மக்களை சந்தித்து செடி நடுறதை பற்றி கேட்கும்பொழுது அவங்க ஒரு சில தாவரத்தை தவிர மற்ற எல்லாம் வராது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அதை நாங்கள் ஒரு சில இந்த போஸ்டர்ஸோடைய உதவியால் அவங்களுக்கு புரிய வச்சு வரோன்றதை சொல்லணும். அதை இப்போ செயல்லையும் நம்ம காமிச்சிருக்கிறோம். இப்போ மூலிகையாக பயன்படுற செடி, மரங்களாக பெரிய மரங்களாக வளரக்கூடியது, பழம் தரக்கூடிய மரங்கள், எண்ணெய் தரக்கூடிய மரங்கள், இப்படி 75 வகையான மரங்களை தெரிவு செஞ்சுருக்கிறோம். கடலோடைய உப்பங்காற்றை அதிகமாக தாங்கி வளரக்கூடிய மரங்களை ஜோன் 1 பகுதியில் போட்டிருக்கிறோம். பசுமை மர உலர் வெப்பமண்டல காடுகள், அதாவது TDF ஸ்பீஷின்னு சொல்கிறது, அதையும் மற்ற உள்நாட்டு தாவரங்களையும் ஜோன் 2ல நடவு பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம்.
This eclectic mix of species, good soil mixture, nursery care for the saplings, shields made of coconut leaves to keep away the salt spray and regular watering, all have helped these plants to survive.
இங்கே நீங்கள் என்ன வேலை செஞ்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்க?
நாங்கள் செடி நட்டு தண்ணி ஊற்றின்னு 2 வருஷமாக வளர்த்துட்டு வரோம். ஆரோட்டமாக இருக்குது. பின்ன செடி, இலுப்பை மரம், நாவ மரம், குங்கங்கன்று, இதெல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்குது சார்.
These saplings are all set to mature into a full forest soon. Similar eco-restoration projects at Shakti, Auroville and other sites stand proof. But it is not just surviving amidst these harsh conditions. These plants have to weather the relaxation of several coastal norms, which in turn have fueled land speculations all along the coast. Coastal Porumbuku land is being sold to third parties every day. One of the plantation sites itself has been sold. But despite all these factors, we have to make sure that these plants come up.
We hope that anybody who is planning to secure the coast or planning a plantation along the coast, maybe government or non-government agencies, and even the private developers who are right now buying off the land, plans to secure this green line and extend this green line all along the Coromandel Coast and help in recreate something which existed here long back.
1/3 of India's population, its dense metros and developed industrial belt, all are lined along the coasts. It makes us more vulnerable and bioshields more important. What we need is protection. Protection that is sustainable. Protection that is natural and from within. The Green Kingdom needs to reconquer the coasts. A strip of TDEF will make a world of a difference when disaster strikes. Imagine a thin green line running up this coast. A line that will protect. A line that can bring back birds and animals. and a culture of forests on this coast. We know it is possible.